Hi friends, this is Prashant. Today I am going to start with radioactivity, that is part A. Now this chapter actually it's divided into two parts, part A and part B. But since for this year they have removed at part B part, therefore we will discuss only part A. Now I have just written some terms which we are going to use in this chapter. So first will be what is atomic number. Atomic number is denoted by letter Z. It is the number of either protons or the number of electrons in neutral atom. That is what is the atomic number. Atomic number is always denoted by Z because this is very important terms. We are going to use this throughout. Next will be what is mass number. Mass number is number of either it is number of protons plus neutrons. That mass number is denoted by letter A, which is equal to Z plus N. Z is your atomic number, N is number of neutrons. Now there are three types of element: isotopes, isobars and isotones. Now this isotope, isobar you must have done in chemistry, but isotone is new term for you. Now isotopes are the element having same atomic number but different mass number. So they have atomic number same but different mass number. They are called as isotope. Isobars are the element having same mass number but different atomic number. They are called as isobars. And third one is called as isotones. These are the elements having different atomic and mass number but number of neutron is same. What can I say? Number of neutron is nothing but your A minus Z. So for them A minus Z is same. So this is about the basic part we require. Now we'll go with what is radioactivity. Now the first question is why element is radioactive. The first question will be why element is radioactive. Now element is radioactive because number of neutrons will be much more than the number of protons in case of radioactive element. Now those elements having atomic number 82 plus, that is lead onwards, they contain more number of neutrons, that is neutron proton ratio is more than 1.5. It is more than what? 1.5. So number of neutrons are much more than the number of protons, right? Therefore that element is radioactive. So a radioactive element becomes stable by emitting either alpha or beta and gamma. It is not alpha, beta and gamma. It is not alpha, beta and gamma. It is either alpha or beta and gamma. Alpha particles are positively charged, beta particles are negatively charged, and gamma rays are electron. The gamma rays are nothing but electromagnetic waves. They do not carry any charge, right? Now this definition says the substance which disintegrate by the spontaneous emission of radiation are called radioactive substances. Generally uranium, thorium, actinium, polonium, radium, all these are examples of this radioactive element. Now what are natural radioactive elements? The elements having 82 onwards, they are generally naturally radioactive elements. Now this radioactivity is a nuclear phenomenon. What do you mean by nuclear phenomenon? Nuclear phenomenon that is from the nucleus, because this radioactivity is possible only at nuclear level. So therefore it is a nuclear phenomenon. Now why? What happened? Suppose you have say you take a radioactive element. They can ask a question like this: what will happen if radioactive element is oxidized, reduced or treated with this compound? This chemical reaction will be given. So what will happen to that part? So your answer will be radioactivity. There will be no effect of any external effect like oxidation, reduction, effect of electric field, magnetic field, treated with some chemical compound. No, nothing. Radioactivity is from the nucleus. Whatever we are doing, oxidation, reduction or any other treatment, that is only applicable for orbital electrons. It is applicable only for what? Orbital electron. And what we are discussing is radioactivity is about the nucleus. It is about what? Nucleus. Therefore, radioactivity is a nuclear phenomenon. Now, there is a definition says that radioactivity is a nuclear phenomenon. It is a process of spontaneous emission of alpha or beta and gamma radiation from the nucleus of atom during the decay. Now this radioactivity is a random phenomenon. You cannot predict which element emit what, which element will emit what at what time. So this is only a random phenomenon. You cannot predict which element will emit what. मतलब अल्फा के बाद बीटा, बीटा के बाद गामा, दैट यू कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट कि अभी अल्फा होगा या ओनली बीटा होगा या अल्फा एंड गामा. दैट इज अल्फा एंड गामा. इट इज ऑलवेज एसोसिएटेड विद गामा. इट इज आइदर अल्फा और अल्फा विद गामा और बीटा विद गामा. अल्फा बीटा दोनों साथ में इज नॉट पॉसिबल. राइट नाउ विल गो with what is alpha particle, beta particle and gamma rays. Right, we'll go that part step by step. We just check this here. What is the alpha particle, what is beta particle and gamma rays. Now what exactly is a alpha particle is? Now alpha particle consists of 2 protons plus 2 neutrons. Alpha particle consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Right? Now, what is alpha particle? It is represented by helium atom. It is represented by what? Helium atom. It is not equal, it is represented by. Now, what is helium atom is used to represent alpha. So, I will take helium atom. So, this is your helium. Helium will be represented as 2. It is represented as 2He4. This is 2He4. So it contains 2 protons, 2 neutrons, and these 2 electrons are revolving around the orbit. So this is your helium atom. Right? This is helium atom. Now if I remove 2 electrons from this helium atom, I am removing 2 electrons from this helium atom, then what will happen? It consists of 2 protons, 2 neutrons. The 2 electrons are removed, therefore it becomes He++. Right? So this is nothing but your alpha particle. This is nothing but your alpha particle. So doubly ionized helium atom is nothing but your alpha particle. If you remove 2 electrons from helium atom, it becomes alpha particle. Now there is one question based on this also. What will happen if alpha particle absorb 1 electron? If alpha particle absorb 1 electron, it becomes singly ionized helium atom, He1+. And if alpha particle absorb 2 electrons, then it becomes helium atom. So alpha particle, there will be 2 different questions. What will happen if alpha particle absorb 1 electron? It becomes singly ionized helium atom. And when it absorbs 2 electrons, then what will happen? It becomes helium atom. Right? This is about alpha particle. Now check, we'll go with what is beta particle. Now what is the difference between beta particle and cathode rays? Right? For beta particles, now beta particles are nothing but you have how beta particle is emitted. Right? You have neutron from the nucleus of an radioactive element. The neutron will be 0 and 1. This neutron get converted into proton and electron in the nucleus of an radioactive element. This is neutron get converted to proton and electron. Right? This is converted to proton and electron. This is your electron is nothing but your beta particle. This is nothing but your beta particle. This electron cannot reside inside the nucleus. This is in the nucleus of radioactive element. बाकी कोई भी element नहीं. This is only radioactive element. So neutron from the nucleus of a radioactive element. Now why this conversion is there? Because we know that the number of neutrons are much more than the number of protons. तो वो न्यूट्रॉन कन्वर्ट किस में होगा? That is converted to proton and electron. So this electron is nothing but beta particle. This electron cannot reside inside the nucleus. Therefore, it is emitted as what? Beta particle. This is emitted as what? Beta particle. Beta particle is also represented as -1. This is beta 0. This is also represented by -1 beta 0. So this is nothing but the how we obtain beta particle. Now, what is the difference between cathode rays and beta particles? What is the difference between cathode rays and beta particles? So for that, cathode is what? You have cathode ray tube. Right? What is cathode? Actually, this part is removed from your scope. Earlier it was there. What are cathode rays? So here you have, this is my cathode, this is my anode. These two are attached with the help of, connected with the help of high tension battery. They are connected with the help of high tension battery. This is called as HT battery, which is potential difference is of the order of 1000 volt. Now I am supplying heat to this cathode from backside, right, with the help of some low tension battery, LT battery, around 10, 20, 30 volt. Right, so electrons are removed from this metal surface because this is the photosensitive, or we can say bulk function is low. So these electrons are removed from this metal surface, and since this anode is at positive potential, so it will attract this part. The rays over here produced, they are called as cathode rays. Now what is the difference between now cathode rays and beta particles? Both are electrons only, but there is a difference, vast difference. These cathode rays, the electrons emitted, they are orbital electrons. These electrons are what? Orbital electrons. What are orbital electrons? The electrons which are in the outermost orbit. Why metals are good conductors? Because they have large number of free electrons. These are free electrons, right? Therefore these electrons are removed. Therefore they are called cathode rays. But in case of beta particles, electrons are obtained from nucleus. So this is from orbital electron. Their origin is different. Otherwise, properties remains the same. This is about the beta particle and cathode rays. Next idea is gamma rays. Now gamma is nothing but energy. It is energy. So it do not carry any charge. So therefore they are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. Suppose here I am taking, say, I am considering there is a one plate. This is second plate. So this is positively charged, this is negatively charged. So we write here deflection of, we can say deflection of, say, alpha, beta and gamma in electric field. So this is your lead box which contain radioactive element, right? So this is beta, so this is your gamma, which travels straight without any deviation. This is gamma rays. This is what gamma is. Now this is positively charged, therefore beta particles are attracted toward this. This is beta, because beta are negatively charged, therefore they are attracted towards positively. Alpha being positively charged, they are deflected towards negatively. This is your alpha. Now if you observe over here, deflection is more for beta, because they are the light particles. Electrons, they are the light particles. But compared to beta, alpha, they are heavy. Therefore the deflection is less. Deflection will be what? Less. And gamma, there will be no deflection because they are electromagnetic. Therefore they are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. So this is deflection. This is under deflection in electric field. Deflection in electric field. Now what about magnetic field? So here I will draw, this is the magnetic field which is perpendicular to plane. This is called as uniform magnetic field. How it is? It is perpendicular to plane and pointing inward. How it is pointing inward. So here is I am considering is a box, right? This is box in which this is your lead box which contains radioactive element. So this is your gamma which travels straight. So I am writing this is your gamma, right? Here it will be beta, and here it will be alpha. Deflection will be beta is more and alpha is what, less. Now my question the student can ask why this alpha is only deflected towards right, why not to left? So for that you have to use your Fleming's left hand rule, which you have to use. It is Fleming's left hand rule. Actually this part is removed from your scope, that is this is electromagnetism, right? In that part, this is my left hand, this is force, field and current. These three are mutually perpendicular. So over here magnetic field is pointing inward. This is force, this is field and this is current. Electrons are going like this, but the current is going opposite. This is the direction of current. So I am applying my left hand. This is the magnetic field which is pointing inward. This is the direction of current which is going downward. So this thumb is a deflection. So this is deflected towards right. Right? This is about the deflection of electric and magnetic field. Right? Now we'll go with the next part. Next is what? What will happen to atomic and mass number if one radioactive element emit one alpha, दूसरा one beta and third one gamma, right? So I will write when one alpha particle is emitted from nucleus of an radioactive element, right? Radioactive element. So I will write here X is a parent nucleus where atomic number is Z, mass number is A. It will emit alpha. So I will get new element is Y. This is called as parent nucleus. This is called as daughter nucleus, right? Plus this is alpha. Alpha is nothing but your 2He4. So the new element formed will have atomic number Z minus 2 and mass number A minus 4. So the new element formed will have atomic number Z minus 2 and new element will have mass number A minus 4. Now for example, suppose I will take for example, say X, the atomic number is say 92 and say this is 184, right? This is X element. I am getting over here Y plus alpha, with the 2He4, this is your alpha. The new element formed will have an atomic number which is equal to 90 and mass number is 180, and this is about one alpha particle is emitted. Now according to chemistry I can say if one alpha particle is emitted from the nucleus of the radioactive element, then the new element formed will shift 2 places to the left in modern periodic table. New element form will shift 2 places to the left in modern periodic table. This kind of question they can ask in this chapter. Right? Now we'll go with beta. What you have done is for alpha. Similarly we will go for beta. For beta, again same, X is my parent element, Z and A, they are atomic and mass number respectively. This is my daughter nucleus element to form होगा, plus beta, beta मतलब -1 E0 or it is -1 beta 0, whichever way you want to write you can write, it is allowed. So the new element form whose atomic number is increased by 1 but mass number remains same. So the new element form will have same mass number but atomic number increased by 1. Atomic number increased by what? 1. Now we'll take for example, you take here, say X is say 90, 180, from here I am getting Y, this is beta, the -1 E0, right? So the new element will be 91, this is 180. So mass number remains same but atomic number increased by 1. So mathematically just check. This is z plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 cancel. It comes out to be only z. Right? This is about the beta. Now we'll go with gamma. Now what is gamma? Over here gamma, you have x is a parent element. This is z a. Here there will be asterisk. This asterisk indicates that this is highly unstable. This is your become y with the z a plus your gamma rays. Right? So when this gamma emission is there is no change in atomic and mass number. Only that energy, extra energy is released, and therefore you will get a new element which is formed, whose atomic number remains same, mass number also remains same. Only this asterisk is removed. That shows that it is highly unstable. Right? Just this is about this part. Now in this next part you have what are the uses of radioactivity. Now in uses of radioactivity you have different types. That is where it is used in say medical field, it is in the field of say industries, wherever it is used, that you have to do. There is one more point over here that is there called as background radiation. Now this background radiation part is very important, frequently asked question. What they are saying you have this radiation, we are exposed to this radiation, they are very harmful to us, right? But we have two types of radioactive sources. One is internal sources, background sources, internal, and second will be external. External is through cosmic rays, sun rays, we get that this background radiation. And second, in our bones, right? You have carbon 40, potassium 40, they are present in our body. But the total composition of both this external as well as internal sources is very less compared to as the permissible value. So no need to worry about this radioactivity part, right? Now we have now here alpha, beta and gamma radiation. The properties we have to discuss. Now in case of alpha, I will just take the help of your textbook so that I can definitely tell you how many points you have to remember. In alpha, this question will be like this: state any four properties of alpha or beta and or gamma, or they can ask simply distinguish between alpha or beta gamma and or alpha and gamma. So this kind of question they can ask. So first, in case of alpha particles, you should do 6 points, for 6 points, not or any 6, it is for 6 points. Because other points are common properties. So for 6 points. If you consider the first point, the last paragraph of that first point is very important. What we discussed, what will happen if alpha particle absorb 1 electron, 2 electron. Then mass of alpha particle is roughly 4 times the mass of proton. Mass of alpha particle is roughly 4 times the mass of proton. Therefore it is heavy, and therefore it shows deflection less in both electric as well as magnetic field. Right? The speed of alpha particle is of the order of 10 raised to 7 meter per second. It is very less. So the ionizing power of alpha particle will be more. So penetrating power is least. Right? Then alpha particles are positively charged, therefore they get deflected by electric as well as magnetic field. If we consider beta particles, then you have to do first 7 points. First point will be the beta particles are fast moving electrons emitted from the nucleus of an atom. Then they have put one asterisk. That asterisk says that neutron from the nucleus of an radioactive element get converted into proton and electron. Now this electron cannot reside. The proton can reside inside the nucleus, but electron cannot. That is emitted in the form of beta particles. Then rest mass of beta particle is, this value is very important, 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Now what is rest mass? Because electrons are continuously moving. We have studied this in 9th standard. If the particle is moving with the speed compared to the speed of light, then its mass will increase. So if the electron is in motion, its mass will be different. So when the electron is at rest, what is the mass? It is, the value is important, 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Then third point, what is given, distinguish between beta particle and cathode ray, that we have discussed. कि cathode rays and beta particle properties remain same, but only difference is in origin. Beta particles are from the nucleus of a radioactive element, and cathode rays are from orbital electrons of any heavy metal whose melting point is very high. Right? Then beta particles speed is of the order of 10 raised to 8 meter per second, but it is less than 3 into 10 raised to 8. Their speed is more as compared to beta, so penetrating power is also high. Ionizing power is less, right? And although they are negatively charged, they get deflected in electric and magnetic field, right? Now, properties of gamma, you have to do first, say 5 points. 5 points are important. Now here gamma rays, they are electromagnetic rays like X-rays, X-rays, UV rays, all that part, right? They possess all the properties of light. Now what is the difference between these two? Origin of gamma rays is from the nucleus of a radioactive element, and second will be cosmic rays, right? Now this gamma rays has the highest penetrating power, that is they can pass through 30 centimeter iron block, that is the highest penetrating power. Then they are moving with the speed of, because they are light only, they are moving with the speed of light 3 into 10 raised to 8. Since they do not carry any charge, therefore they are not deflected by electric and magnetic field, right? Friends, that's it for this video. Please do subscribe my channel so that you will get more videos regarding the same. Thank you.